As you stand at the precipice of this moment, feeling the subtle stirring of anticipation within, take a deep breath and reflect on the beautiful truth everything in your life has been guided by a divine hand. Perhaps you've prayed for a breakthrough, whether in your relationships, career, or spiritual growth, and now you are beginning to sense that something is shifting. What may seem like coincidence is no mere accident. It is the orchestration of God's plan, working behind the scenes in ways you cannot always see, but always trust. In the book of Jeremiah 29 veser 11, God reassures us, "For I know the plans I have for you," declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you a hope and a future. This divine orchestration is not random. It is deeply intentional. Like the many prayers you've offered, spoken and unspoken, your heart's yearnings have not fallen on deaf ears. Each request you've made, whether for guidance, love, or strength, has been heard and woven into the grand narrative of your life. The challenges, setbacks, and seemingly unanswered prayers were not periods of wasted time, but rather moments of preparation. God has been refining you, teaching you resilience and patience, much like how He prepared the Israelites during their 40 years in the wilderness. As Psalm 37 veser 4 says, "Take delight in the Lord, and He will give you the desires of your heart." The desires you've placed before God are aligned with His divine timing, and now is the time for them to be fulfilled. In the quiet of your soul, you may have sensed that a significant choice lies ahead, an invitation to step forward or remain in the comfort of what you know. The path that once seemed uncertain now begins to clear. God's hand has been at work, preparing opportunities and aligning circumstances to meet you exactly where you are, ready to fulfill your soul's deepest purpose. When you pause and reflect, you will see that each event, each connection, and even each trial has been a thread carefully woven into the tapestry of your life, bringing you closer to this moment. God's timing is never late, and His wisdom is unerring. In Romans 8 veser 28 we are reminded, "And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose." What you are now stepping into is not an accident, but the culmination of God's faithfulness. You have been prepared for this moment, prepared to embrace the dreams you've carried in your heart for so long. This is not the time for fear or doubt, but for faith. As you stand on the edge of this pivotal moment, trust in the process. Trust that the challenges you faced were not to break you but to strengthen you, and the doors that once seemed closed are now opening wide. As you step forward, remember that you are not alone. You are surrounded by God's unwavering love, and He has provided everything you need for this next chapter. The people you need to support you, the opportunities you've prayed for, and the courage you need to take the next step are all within reach. The whispers of your soul, those quiet nudges from God, have been guiding you all along. You are not only ready for this moment, but you are being called to embrace it fully. Let go of the doubt and the fear, and trust that God's plan is unfolding before you in ways that will surpass anything you could have imagined. This is not a moment of luck, but a divine convergence. God is answering your prayers, aligning the very fabric of your existence with the blessings He has prepared for you. Take heart in the knowledge that everything you've longed for, everything you've hoped for, is now within your grasp. Step boldly into this next chapter, knowing that God's hand will continue to guide you, providing wisdom, strength, and support as you walk confidently in the direction of your dreams. And as C.S. Lewis beautifully said, "God, who has made us for Himself, is the only one who can satisfy the soul. Trust in Him, for your heart's desires are part of His divine purpose for your life." Chapter 3: The Choice That Lies Ahead. Chosen one, you are approaching a pivotal moment, one that will call upon you to make a decision so profound that it has the potential to reshape the very contours of your destiny. This is not a simple, everyday choice, such as what to wear or where to spend your time. No, this is a significant crossroads, one where the road of your old patterns intersects with the path of your new becoming. You might already sense its nearness, an intuition stirring deep within. It may come in the form of a subtle anticipation, a quiet tension, as if the very air around you hums with the energy of possibility. Your heart and mind are preparing for this inevitable juncture, even now. Reflect on how far you've come, the lessons you've learned, the waiting you've endured, and the gradual shedding of old beliefs that no longer align with your soul's truth. You've cleared obstacles, honed your intuition, and expanded your vision of your potential. With each challenge, you've become stronger, more attuned to the calling of your heart. As you stand at this crossroads, know that this choice is not arbitrary. It is a natural crescendo in the symphony of your personal evolution. As C.S. Lewis once said, "You are never too old to set another goal, or to dream a new dream. Your growth is a continuous journey, and this choice will guide you to the next chapter of that unfolding story." Chapter 2: Understanding the Energy of Waiting. Chosen one. Think back on the time you might describe as the wait, that period when it felt like nothing was moving, when every attempt to speed up progress or force outcomes seemed like struggling against an invisible current. In those moments, you may have questioned if you were truly making any headway. But let me remind you that waiting is not punishment, it is an essential part of the divine plan. During this pause, you were being prepared, shaped into someone capable of receiving the blessings you had asked for. In moments of stillness, the universe works quietly behind the scenes, rearranging the pieces of your life, much like seeds resting beneath the soil in winter. Your dreams, though invisible, were growing in secret. Waiting is not about stagnation, it's about transformation. Think of a caterpillar in a cocoon, seemingly dormant, yet undergoing a profound metamorphosis. In the same way, you were being refined so that when the right moment arrived, you could fully embrace the blessings without them slipping through your fingers. The energy of waiting is not idle, it is an incubation period. It teaches you patience, discernment, and trust in the divine order. You may have noticed small synchronicities, gentle nudges, or even dreams that reassured you that you were not forgotten. These are divine breadcrumbs, guiding you along the path. Understanding the energy of waiting is about recognizing its purpose. It fine-tuned your inner landscape, preparing you to step forward with more wisdom, clarity, and confidence than ever before. As you navigate the energy of waiting, remember the words of Psalm 27, veser 14. Wait for the Lord, be strong, and take heart, and wait for the Lord. Your waiting was not in vain, it was an essential part of God's plan for your life. Chapter 1: The Moment of Alignment. Chosen one, pause for a moment and reflect on the truth that this moment of alignment has arrived. You have not reached this point by chance. Every prayer, every hope, every tear you've shed has been heard and cataloged by the divine. Consider the long and winding path that has brought you here. Each challenge, each triumph, and even the moments when you felt stuck have been a part of the grand orchestration. In these past moments, it may have felt like nothing was changing, that the universe was silent, but nothing was wasted. Each step, whether forward or backward, was preparing you for this exact moment. The universe has been quietly arranging circumstances, refining your character, and aligning opportunities. When the time arrived, you would be ready not only to receive your blessings but to integrate them with grace and gratitude. As you stand on the threshold of this moment of alignment, know that it is not about luck or coincidence. It is the universe's response to your deep desires, your soul's calling. It is the manifestation of God's promise, as stated in Jeremiah 29, veser 11. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you a hope and a future. This is your time. The blessings you've asked for are on their way, and you are fully prepared to receive them. Your heart has been finely tuned, your spirit has been refined, and now you are a match for the blessings you seek. Embrace this moment with open arms, knowing that it is the affirmation of your prayers and the confirmation that you have been heard. The universe is ready to deliver what you've been waiting for, and you are ready to receive it. This is the culmination of divine preparation. and you are poised to step into the fullness of your destiny. Ask, and it will be given to you, as Matthew 7 veser 7 promises. The universe has already begun to respond, and now, with grace and gratitude, you are aligned with the blessings that await you. This decision is a divine invitation to demonstrate how far you've come in your spiritual journey. Life, in its wisdom, steps back slightly, folding its arms with a knowing smile, as if asking, have you truly integrated what you've learned? You are now being called to step into a new chapter, one that challenges you to live out your growth in action. The choice before you may be between two divergent paths, one that feels safe and predictable, but keeps you tethered to old patterns, and another that beckons you into the unknown, a realm where authenticity replaces complacency, and growth replaces stagnation. In this moment, remember that the unknown is not chaos or risk without reason. Instead, it is often the path that leads you to embrace who you are becoming, beyond the limitations of your past self. As you face this decision, trust that the divine has orchestrated this juncture in your life, but it is through your active participation that the blessings will manifest. Free will is at the heart of your spiritual evolution. While God can align circumstances, offer guidance, and whisper to your heart, He will not force you to step into the life He's planned for you without your yes in this way. The decision before you is a holy threshold, where potential becomes reality. As you approach this choice, take a moment to recognize the immense power you hold. You are not a passive bystander, but a co-creator with God, shaping the course of your journey. Reflect on all the growth you've undergone, how you've learned to trust God's timing, honor your worth, and embrace transformation even when it meant stepping away from the familiar. This decision is more than just choosing between two external options. It is about honoring the growth you've achieved and continuing to walk in alignment with the person you are becoming. In the words of James 1 veser 5, if any of you lacks wisdom, let him ask of God, who gives to all liberally and without reproach, and it will be given to him. Your journey has equipped you with the wisdom to make this choice, and the universe, in its divine orchestration, is guiding you forward. Trust that you are not alone. The small wonders, synchronicities, and gentle nudges along the way are signs that God is with you. He has prepared you for this moment, and He watches patiently as you make your decision, encouraging you to step into the future He has prepared for you. Though this moment may feel weighty, remember that weight often signals the value of the decision at hand. You are at a threshold of readiness, and you would not be here if you were not equipped to rise to the occasion. As you make your choice, you affirm to the universe that you are ready for the blessings that match your spiritual frequency. Let this decision be a reflection of your soul's maturity, and trust that by choosing the path of growth and authenticity, you are embracing the divine destiny that awaits you. A remarkable decision lies ahead, chosen one. It's coming swiftly, like a wave cresting on the horizon of your life. This moment, charged with transformative potential, will call you to choose a path, one that leads to deeper understanding, greater authenticity, and eventual transformation. By preparing your heart, clearing your mind, and reaffirming your worth, you increase the likelihood that you will embrace this pivotal moment with courage and grace. The universe watches with infinite patience and love, not with judgment, eager to see which path you will select, knowing that whichever you choose will lead you toward your destiny. Consider the freedom that awaits you if you dare to choose the path that reflects who you've become. The decision before you is not simply a choice between options, it's a reflection of your soul's true longing. Justice C.S. Lewis once wrote, "You are never too old to set another goal, or to dream a new dream. Your decision has the power to bring fulfillment and inner peace, especially when made in harmony with your true self." Though the path may seem daunting, remember that this decision is a natural nudge toward your highest good, gently guiding you to where you are meant to be. The freedom to choose is a divine gift, but it comes with responsibility. You must not settle for the familiar simply because it's comfortable. To settle would be to confine yourself within old stories that no longer represent who you've become. It would be like remaining in a play long after its script has grown stale. Settling means accepting a life that no longer serves your purpose or fuels your passions. It's about avoiding growth, dimming your inner light, and rejecting the higher calling of your soul. In contrast, non-settling is not about being restless. It is a deliberate choice to evolve, to lean into the calling that consistently beckons you toward greater authenticity and broader horizons. Non-settling is about honoring the inner whispers of discontent that remind you that you deserve more than mediocrity. Whether it's a career that doesn't excite you or a relationship that doesn't touch the depths of your heart, non-settling is about acknowledging the divine spark within you, the voice that calls you to greater authenticity. As the Bible reminds us in Jeremiah 29 verse 11, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans for welfare and not for evil, to give you a future and a hope." When you refuse to settle, you align yourself with these divine plans, ensuring that your choices reflect your true potential. Each time you choose not to settle, you realign your life's compass, shifting away from mediocrity and back toward your true north. By saying no to relationships, opportunities, or environments that stifle your growth, you reaffirm your covenant with the universe. You signal that you trust your inner guidance more than external pressures, and in doing so, you strengthen your energetic magnetism. Imagine your energy as a beacon. When you refuse to compromise your integrity, that beacon radiates with a steady, radiant glow. As you hold steadfast to your standards, you invite blessings that surpass your wildest expectations, filling your life with greater abundance, opportunity, and meaning. In the words of C.S. Lewis, hardships often prepare ordinary people for an extraordinary destiny, so do not fear the choice before you. Step forward with faith in the divine orchestration of your journey, knowing that your refusal to settle will lead you toward a destiny that aligns with your highest good. In the journey of faith, we are invited to embrace the profound concept of non-settling, which aligns with the divine wisdom that guides us toward our true potential. As believers, we understand that settling for less than what our souls deeply desire contradicts God's plan for our lives. To settle would be to accept a life of mediocrity, to choose comfort over growth, and to silence the call of our higher purpose. But when we choose not to settle, we are declaring with conviction that we will not compromise on the greatness our Creator has designed for us. As Psalm 37 verse 4 says, "Delight yourself in the Lord, and He will give you the desires of your heart." By refusing to settle, we honor our God-given worth, acknowledging that we were created for more than ordinary lives. This refusal to settle is not an act of dissatisfaction or greed, but an expression of self-love and divine trust. It is an act of faith that reflects our belief in God's perfect timing and provision. When we wait for the right blessings, those aligned with our true desires, we trust that God is orchestrating our lives in a way that will bring about the most abundant and fulfilling outcomes. As Isaiah 40 verse 31 reminds us, "But they who wait for the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint." The waiting is not wasted. It is a process of refining our hearts and minds, preparing us for the blessings that are just ahead. Choosing not to settle means that we no longer allow external pressures or fleeting circumstances to dictate our sense of self-worth. It means holding firm to our belief that God's timing is perfect, and that every delay is a chance for growth. Instead of rushing toward what seems immediately available, we honor God's plans for our lives and trust that His timing is always better than our own. This practice of non-settling is not just about waiting for something better. It's about living in a way that reflects our highest potential. It is choosing to walk a path that feels authentic, knowing that as we do, we align ourselves with God's purpose. By not settling, we step into the fullness of who we are meant to be, embracing the radical idea that we are worthy of abundant joy, deep love, and lasting fulfillment. As C.S. Lewis wrote, "You are never too old to set another goal or to dream a new dream." Through faith and patience, we create lives that honor both God's calling and our soul's deepest desires. In the journey of faith, the time between your desires and their manifestation is never wasted. It is a sacred season of preparation, where your character evolves and your dreams take root in the fertile soil of your soul. As believers, we are called to trust divine timing, releasing the need for control and surrendering to God's perfect wisdom. This does not mean passivity or lack of ambition, rather, it is about doing your part, putting in sincere effort, aligning with your values, and trusting that God will arrange the details in His perfect time. As Proverbs 3 veser 5-6 advises, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to Him, and He will make your paths straight. Imagine standing by a river flowing steadily towards its destination. You cannot force its current, but you can move with it, adjusting your pace. In the same way, trusting God's timing means working in harmony with His divine plan, instead of desperately trying to force the future. There is a rhythm to life, and when we accept that seasons of quiet growth are just as necessary as those of blooming and harvest, our hearts find peace. This patience frees us from the trap of instant gratification, reminding us that true success is not measured by speed, but by how faithfully we align with God's will. As we walk in trust, we become attuned to the subtle signs and synchronicities that guide our path. Like C.S. Lewis wrote in the Screwtape Letters, the patient is being taught to recognize and obey the promptings of the divine, which, however indirect, always leads to life's deeper understanding. Even when doors close or plans change, we can rest in the certainty that God is guiding us, and what is meant for us will never pass by. When our souls are ready, God's perfect timing will bring forth the blessings we've been prepared to receive. Trusting in His plan does not mean life will be without challenges, but rather that each difficulty is a part of the divine choreography, guiding us toward our highest good. As Romans 8 veser 28 assures us, and we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose. Now that you've arrived at this sacred juncture, it's vital to recognize that you never traversed this journey alone. Though at times you may have felt like you were wandering through a void, abandoned, misunderstood, or uncertain of your next move, the truth is that divine guardians have walked beside you from the very start. Your angels and guides, along with a loving universal intelligence that orchestrated your arrival at this precise moment, have been quietly assisting you all along. They have whispered comfort into the silence of your doubt, held space for you when your heart wavered, and gently laid down stepping stones in places that seemed dark and impassable. Now, as you stand on the threshold of receiving what you have so patiently waited and prepared for, their presence intensifies. You may notice subtle yet unmistakable signs, timely messages delivered through dreams, feathers appearing at your doorstep, meaningful number sequences flashing across your path, or an inexplicable sense of warmth flooding your chest when you need reassurance. These gentle affirmations serve as divine winks, letting you know you are never truly alone. Trusting divine timing transforms your entire outlook on life. Instead of treating existence as a linear sprint from point A to point B, you begin to experience it as a grand, unfolding tapestry. Each thread is placed deliberately, and sometimes you need distance and patience to recognize the emerging pattern. You might recall dreams you had years ago that didn't come to fruition at the time, but now you see how the detours you took endowed you with qualities you lacked back then. Gratitude for this timing blooms naturally. You appreciate that while you were impatiently tapping your foot, the universe was orchestrating a more fulfilling path. The very growth and healing you underwent during those empty periods equipped you to recognize and cherish the blessings when they finally materialized. As you deepen this trust, you may even come to relish the periods of waiting. They become opportunities for self-discovery, for honing your craft, for strengthening your emotional and spiritual resilience. Instead of feeling anxious or disempowered, you lean into curiosity, wondering what treasures the universe is shaping for you behind the scenes. You begin to enjoy the journey itself, knowing that the destination will reveal itself in due time, precisely when you are ready to embrace it with open arms and a grateful heart. Ultimately, trusting divine timing is an act of faith and surrender. It's a willingness to step back and acknowledge that, although you possess great creative power, you are part of a vast and intricate whole. Your personal narrative is intertwined with others, and a higher intelligence ensures that events synchronize for the benefit of all, not just you. By embracing this truth, you learn that patience is not merely the absence of impatience, it's an active, positive state of trust. You stand firmly, not idly, and await your blessings not timidly, but in quiet confidence. Remember this: the blessings aligned with your essence are on their way, not a moment too soon, nor a moment too late. They will find you when your heart is ready, your mind receptive, and your spirit clear. Until then, continue to walk your path with integrity and joy, knowing that every sunrise and sunset, every season and cycle, serves a purpose in the grand architecture of your life. What's meant for you will arrive perfectly timed, and you'll greet it with both wisdom and grace, recognizing it as the gift you are always destined to receive. Embracing the path that is divinely guided is an act of profound trust, not rooted in grand declarations or rituals, but in the quiet surrender to a wisdom greater than our understanding. As believers, we know that God's plan for us is intricate and filled with love, even when it seems beyond our comprehension. The Bible reminds us in Proverbs 3 veser 5-6, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to Him, and He will make your path straight." This trust is not passive, it is an active surrender, choosing to walk in faith even when we cannot see the full picture. When we make decisions that align with our true selves or remain steadfast amid life's chaos, we affirm our trust in God's timing and plan. With every step, we invite divine guidance into our lives. In the same way that a child trusts their parent to guide them, we allow God to lead us, knowing that He is orchestrating events for our good. Romans 8 veser 28. Just as Psalm 119 veser 105 says, "Your word is a lamp to my feet and a light to my path." We trust that His light will always guide us, even through the darkness. Challenges, which once might have seemed like burdens, become opportunities for spiritual growth. In moments of adversity, we learn to see the hand of God shaping us, refining us like gold through the fire. 1 Peter 1 veser 7. Instead of feeling overwhelmed, we begin to view difficulties as part of the divine process, steps along a sacred journey. Like the story of Joseph, who endured betrayal and hardship only to rise to a place of purpose, we learn that each setback is part of the unfolding of God's perfect plan. The more we lean into this trust, the more fluid and harmonious our lives become. The path ahead may seem unclear, but we walk confidently, knowing that God's guidance is always there, illuminating the way. Even in those quiet moments of waiting, we trust that He is preparing us for what lies ahead, and that our role is to remain open, listening for His whispers. In this divine partnership, we become co-creators of our reality, stepping forward in faith, empowered by the knowledge that God is always with us, leading us closer to the fullness of His plan. Chapter 7: Stepping Forward into Your Destiny. Chosen one, you stand now at the threshold of a moment that has long awaited your arrival. The subtle nudges of intuition, the quiet whispers of your heart, and the countless dreams you have held close are all converging at this precise moment. The weight of waiting is nearly over, and the choice you've sensed on the horizon will soon be made clear, unmistakable, and undeniable. As you approach this new chapter, you feel the presence of divine timing, understanding that your path is uniquely yours, never meant to mirror anyone else's. Just as C.S. Lewis once wrote, "You are never too old to set another goal, or to dream a new dream. This is the moment when your dreams meet your readiness, and with each step forward, you are no longer held back by doubt or hesitation." In previous chapters, you came to understand that the waiting phase was not a punishment, but a period of preparation. You learned that authenticity is your guiding star, and no longer will you settle for half-truths or partial alignments. As the Bible teaches in Proverbs 3 veser 5, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. You have come to trust in the divine orchestration of your life, recognizing that God's timing is perfect, and that the universe moves in a rhythm, both subtle and grand, ensuring you arrive at each threshold exactly when your soul is ready. Now, standing at the edge of this moment, you feel lighter, more centered, and more connected to your purpose than ever before. This is not merely about making the right decision, as if destiny could be reduced to a single move. Rather, it is about honoring who you have become through all the trials, lessons, and awakenings. Each choice you face is an invitation to live more fully as your true self, to reflect your inner truth outward and shape your reality accordingly. With faith as your compass, you step forward, knowing you are far more prepared than you realize. You have endured doubts and disappointments, navigated difficulties, and emerged each time stronger and wiser. The trials of the past have refined you, and in their silence, you learn to cherish your inner guidance and nurture your intuition. As you embrace this moment of divine opportunity, trust that the universe is your steadfast partner, ready to support you with every step you take. The angels who have walked beside you, witnessing every prayer, every tear, and every triumph, now stand ready to celebrate the sacred milestones ahead. They have seen where you have been, and they delight in where you are going. The choices you make now will not only shape your future, but will serve as a testament to the strength and grace that have carried you thus far. As you step forward with faith in your heart and trust in your soul, know that you are moving closer each day to the destiny you were always meant to claim. In this life, you are never truly alone, even when your journey feels solitary. Though at times you may feel abandoned, know that forces beyond your comprehension have been caring for you long before you even knew their names. These divine hands, ever present yet gentle, are always at your back, guiding you forward. They do not push you with force or demand your obedience. Instead, they offer quiet encouragement, reminding you of your strength and the inevitable unfolding of your destiny. Every prayer whispered into the night, every tear shed in quiet surrender, and every hope kindled against all odds has led you to this very moment. The struggles you've faced and the small victories you've celebrated were not in vain. They have shaped you, building in you a resilience and depth that make the next step not just possible, but transformative. As the Bible reminds us in Jeremiah 29 verse 11, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans for welfare and not for evil, to give you a future and a hope." You stand here now not by coincidence but by divine design, having passed through the necessary stages of growth, refinement, and self-discovery. What you once perceived as endless waiting was actually God's careful orchestration, preparing you for this moment when you would be fully equipped to step into your calling. You are no longer standing empty-handed. You bring with you the wisdom of hardship, the empathy of understanding, and the strength forged in the fire of inner work. Your future no longer appears as a distant, hazy dream, but a vivid and tangible reality calling you to embrace it fully. As C.S. Lewis wisely said, "You are never too old to set another goal or to dream a new dream, so don't hold back or wait for external approval. Your inner compass is your guide. By trusting in it, you are co-creating your future with the universe itself, stepping forward in harmony with a plan far greater than your own." As you move forward, remember that this journey is ongoing. Each choice you make is like a brushstroke on the canvas of your life, adding depth and beauty to the masterpiece that is unfolding. If fear arises, meet it with compassion, letting faith dissolve any lingering doubts. Your soul has done the necessary work, and now, as you walk in the confidence of your calling, trust that everything you need to create a life aligned with your highest purpose is already within you. This isn't mere wishful thinking. This is the natural outcome of a soul that has found its voice, chosen to trust in God's perfect plan, and embrace the journey. Now step forward with confidence and humility, knowing that you are not walking alone. The time of uncertainty is over. Your destiny is unfolding beneath your feet, calling you to claim the life that has always awaited you. Go forward, guided by faith, and step fully into the future God has prepared for you.